the ministries, and it is never shared with the Deputy Chairman also mentioned that we don't have the data, that's why we are not able to take. But lot of data is measured, but is never brought together. This is the first time probably the IITs have an opportunity to interact with all the ministries, whether it is Ministry of Water Resources or Ministry of Urban Development or Ministry of Environment and Forest. And it took almost 2 years for us to convince the Ministry of Water Resources that why they should give the data about Ganga to IITs. Though we are working for the National Ganga River Basin Authority, chaired by the Prime Minister, we are making plan for that. It took us 2.5 years to convince the Ministry of Water Resources that why they should give us all the data related to flow in Ganga. It's now they have in principle agreed, some of it we have got it, and people blame that IITs are not doing the work, it is getting delayed, we only give 18 months. They said unless we have data, how can we work on it? So it has taken almost 2.5 years for us to convince the ministry that why they should get. Now slowly and slowly we are coming on board, right? So it's not only various parties that we need to bring together, we need to bring several ministries of the government on one platform. Okay, and this is another challenge that we face. So our proposition is stop pollution, means stop pollution, no dilution business. Okay, so this is where we are proposing zero liquid discharge. We are looking at cost consequences of it, whether people can afford it, and this is what we will have a debate on several factors. We will propose some numbers, we will have some ideas, and over a period of time we will develop on this. And in long term, the benefit to the country at large will be tremendous. Okay, this is what we believe if we adopt this kind of this thing. Okay, and we need to increase water level in the water bodies, so we need to talk about technologies for irrigation, farming, different ways of farming. That's another sector that we need to look at. Okay. As you all know, we started Ganga Action Plan, cleaning up of Ganga, in 1985. In fact, it all started with the vision of late Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi, and then it was taken up by the late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. And we are into almost 25 years of the implementation of the 2 phases of the Ganga Action Plan, phase 1 and phase 2. Yet, we do not see substantial results on the ground. Okay, maybe about 3,000, 4,000 crores have been spent. Of course, it's a different matter. Today, we are looking at, if we need to look at, we need investments of the order of 100,000 crores. Now, the question is from where that money is going to come. Right? And this is what we are putting our brains, that how this money can come, how this can be generated, and we get out of the bottlenecks that we had in the earlier Ganga Action Plan. Okay. So we have a lot of opportunities in terms of business, whether it is sewage treatment plant, industrial effluent treatment, irrigation, or managing the salinity. We're looking at various economic models. I will not elaborate that here. Okay. We're looking at new financial instruments, water quality, pollution trading, other major, including other things. Okay. This we will discuss over a period of time in the summit. The other aspects that we want to look at is, we also need to look at the framework for implementation of the Ganga River Basin Management Plan. Okay. Where we made mistake in the Ganga Action Plan, right? One of the things is we had lack of knowledge and data with the Central Ganga Authority at that time, and hopefully we are now covering that. There was lack of coordination amongst various sectors and ministries, and of course the lack of resources. So our vision is, we acquire data and knowledge, and that we are doing, putting all the information together, and generate resources. When we talk about resources, we need to have both financial resources, physical resources, also intellectual resources. So policies in place, legislations, governance mechanisms. And the most appropriate thing that we believe, we have to have a coordination, but we do not want to centralize everything. Everything should be decentralized. Ultimately, it is the community should do the work. But we need each community, if they start doing in their own way, there are going to be issues. So what we probably proposing are that the center should do the coordination activity. Okay? And each and every distributed community should get involved. They should own the part of the river where they live, right? And they should, even we were going to the extent of, when we do the monitoring, we do not have the information of the flow, why not communities monitor how much flow is there in the river and feed it to the central? We have the technology, we have the communication models today, we can easily do that, and this is something that we are trying to follow. Okay? I will not go into the details because we are slightly running out of the time, right? But what we want to propose, we either have a completely decentralized model, no coordination, or completely centralized model. If you look at UK and some of the other countries, they have completely centralized model for the rivers, right? Now that kind of model is not going to work. Completely decentralized model is also not going to work. So what we need to, this is where we are in the left corner, right? So we need to raise this level to somewhere here. And this is where we are trying to bring in some kind of legislation, some kind of framework, so that we increase the coordination and we increase the basin planning approach, degree of basin planning approach. Okay? So what we are saying at the end of the plan, what will be proposed? In nutshell, if I have to talk about Ganga River Basin Plan, what we will say is, certain things we need to prohibit. Certain things we need to regulate. And regulation means we restrict certain things. That means we say certain things have to be done only in certain fashion. And certain things we need to promote. So if you ask me what is Ganga Basin Management Plan is going to be, in nutshell I will say we will give the list of activities. This should be prohibited. We will give list of activities which have to be done in a restricted fashion. And we will give list of activities which have to be promoted. And we will also outline how this prohibition, restriction, and promotion can happen. Okay, we'll deal on scientific basis on that. Okay, we also have to make sure that it is implemented. So our problem right now is whatever we propose never gets implemented. So we are also looking at a mechanism where it can get implemented. So we are looking at National River Ganga Basin Management Act. And through that, probably we can also have a commission which looks at all this kind of. Of course, this is a very preliminary and a premature kind of things will get debated and discussed at various forums and then come back to you in times to come. Okay? So what I'm going to say is, in order to have a proper river basin management, we need knowledge and information and database. We need coordination and advice. We need investigation at times. We need public interface where the civil society and other bodies can. And we also need education. And for all that, we will need resources, both capital and finances. And what IITs probably can do is to provide at the end of our study is a seed, a capital, intellectual capital, some kind of seed, and that has to grow into a big banyan tree. And we will continue to get associated with that. The financial resources also can be generated on that, and then we'll have. So summarizing on the Ganga Basin, I think I have taken a little more time than I should have. It's a long journey. Do not expect that the things will happen overnight, right? We all have to work long time. It will take 25 to 30 years. World over, if you look at it, wherever people have cleaned their messy rivers, it has taken time. It cannot happen overnight. Will require reforms and investments of the order of $100 billion. We have to look at from where this money is going to come, what models. And the plan is going to be dynamic, will evolve as we start this journey. What we can do is, we will show how to begin this journey and implement some models, and then those models can be multiplied. Okay? And hopefully we will explore all the sources of information, point out gaps, and also develop approach that how systematically we generate data which we do not have today. Like rest of the Western world, outside developed country, they have complete information about their river system. We do not have that much. Today we do not have, but 15 years down the line, we should not say the same thing, right? This is what we have. We started Ganga Action Plan 25 years back. The information that we had, we have not advanced substantially on that, right? So our hope is that from today, if we start 15 years down the line, at least we do not say, I don't have this information, I don't have that information, and then our planning or whatever decisions that we take will be more rational. Okay? So thank you very much for your patience hearing. Particularly, I am thankful to the Honorable Chief Minister. Fortunately, we have our Board of Governors, Professor Anand Krishnan, and that shows the commitment of IITs, IIT Kanpur, that he kindly agreed. He had some engagement in the morning, so he said, forget about any protocols. I can even speak at the end, and I will be ready to give a vote of thanks on behalf of the IIT Kanpur. Right? So I'm so grateful to him that he is there. So I'll now request Professor Anand Krishnan, Chairman Board of Governors of IIT Kanpur, to give his closing remarks and vote of thanks. And then finally, I will request Swamiji to give blessings to all of us.
Esteemed and Honorable Chief Minister Shri Akhilesh Ji, Honorable His Excellency the Ambassador, Dr. S.N. Singh, and Dr. Ahuja, and my colleague Dr. Vinod Tare, and Swamiji, and all the eminent and distinguished delegates to this summit. First of all, on behalf of the 7 IITs, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, IIT Madras, IIT Kanpur, IIT Guwahati, IIT Roorkee, and IIT Kharagpur, let me extend a very warm welcome and successful deliberations during this summit. This summit, the India Water Impact Summit, is an extraordinary event. I think for the first time, this is an opportunity, provides a platform for discussing almost every issue, as you have heard from Dr. Tare's presentation, not just the science and technology issues, the economic issue, financial issues, environmental issues, the whole cultural issues, religious issues, sentimental issues, everything that has got to be discussed. And this is an opportunity in the next 2 days for you to help us to come to some kind of a consensus as what are the issues that are involved. The action plan that Dr. Tare mentioned, this has already been conceived by been worked on by these 7 IITs, with the coordination that is done by Dr. Tare at IIT Kanpur. They have done a great deal of work as he has presented, and it's a matter of getting your views on what these tentative ideas that have been generated up to this point. Ganga, as he said, from 1985 onwards, Ganga Action Plan has been there, bits and pieces have been done, and mostly concentrating on effluent treatment, whether it was domestic effluent or industrial effluent. But I think we have to look at the river like the human artery. If something goes with the artery, I think the body dies. If something goes wrong with the river, the whole nation dies. So I think we would have to now take this as a holistic view at this point of time. And IITs, it's a great opportunity for IITs. IITs have been called upon to perform a number of missions in this country on almost every sector. But this is the first time IITs jointly have been asked to undertake a mission which is extraordinary in its scope and range and dimension and responsibilities. And I hope my colleagues at IITs would be able to stand up to the expectation that the nation has entrusted to them. And so at the end of this 2 days deliberations, I think your wisdom, your guidance, your suggestions, your arguments, and your views, your experiences, all of this would help us to come for the preparation of this Ganga River Basin Environment Management Plan. I think it's a long acronym, GR.